We've been told that hard work pays off, encouraged to participate in this rise and grind culture, benchmarked against an Elon Musk who also pulls 120-hour work weeks. We've learned to take no days off, to always push our limits, and that success is never given, it's earned. In a world where overtime gets glorified and hustle culture becomes the norm, can we ever sit back and put up our feet with good conscience? Or do you sometimes notice the slightest bit of guilt lingering inside you? This feeling that you could do more, that you should be productive and tick off tasks from your to-do list? Today's video is for all to-do list junkies out there who may feel the permanent urge to be productive, even if this makes them stand in their own way sometimes. Hey there, I'm happy to have you here for another video. My name is Ava, I am a psychologist and head of content at FlowLab, a mental fitness app with a goal to help you achieve more productive and rewarding flow states with personalized guided meditations. If you're new to our channel, I'd be happy if you subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Every Friday we'll release a new video on mental fitness, productivity and flow states. As part of the FlowLab team, it comes as no surprise that I'm a big fan of productivity. We love to encourage people to get things done and make the most out of their days. So you may find it a bit counterintuitive that I want to talk about the downside today. Well, when we talk about productivity and find more flow, we mean the state where you are so absorbed in a challenging activity that you forget everything around you, a state of ease, of fulfillment, of feeling fantastic. Flow is an autotelic state, meaning you are intrinsically motivated. You're not driven by external incentives, but by pure enjoyment and curiosity for the task. It's actually found to protect against burnout and is associated with having more energy at the end of the workday. This makes flow a form of sustainable productivity. For some, however, productivity may be tinged with a feeling of guilt when not getting as much done as planned. So-called productivity guilt comes with an underlying feeling that you could do more, that you could work harder, that you need to use every minute efficiently. A morning without a run before your daily yoga session is a wasted morning. The 10 minutes before your first meeting aren't meant for doom scrolling, they should be used for meditation. And don't you dare to put up your feet, you lazy couch potato, before you washed your dishes. Hey, have you drunk your 2 gallons of water today? Don't give in to the fatigue you're sensing in your legs. Your weekend is dedicated to your social life. Productivity guilt may sound something like this. And perhaps it's not only pushing yourself to do everything, but also rushing into things way too quickly, something called precrastination. So pretty much the opposite of procrastination. You're not putting things off, you're doing things too early, even though a bit of patience or planning would have been very useful. I'm doing my laundry right now and had to think of a friend who already folds her laundry when it's still wet, just because she cannot stand the fact that there's an open task waiting for her later. And I know that from other contexts too, although when it comes to household chores, I'm more of a procrastinator. But I can imagine that it has to do with impatience on the one hand, and probably just being stressed by the thought that there's work to be done in the future when you have little capacities and generally a very packed schedule. So that's a classic example of precrastination. The decisive difference is not the intention to use your time wisely, it's the feelings that come with it, and that this may make you stand in your own way sometimes. Imagine you already started a task at work where you don't have the precise instructions yet. Yet you get going to have a sense of accomplishment, but in the end you have to face the fact that they are asking for something else and your efforts were all for nothing. You probably intended to save time, but sometimes it's the opposite. It takes up much more time than necessary. Of course, we could talk about time management techniques, prioritization, more effective to-do lists, and all these kinds of things, but I feel this wouldn't get down to the root of the trouble. Instead, I dare you to dig deeper and to reflect on the underlying causes for this productivity guilt. What stories have you been told about laziness and hard work? When I was younger, I was told that if you're able to go out and party and have fun, you're also able to work, as if any form of pleasure, enjoyment, reward had to be compensated with productive work. So it's Sunday. I slept a little longer than usual because I was at a birthday party yesterday, and I skipped my morning sports class. And I feel a bit guilty for not showing up today, but now that I think about it, I don't like the statement in general, not only for inducing guilt, but also because it makes productivity seem like a punishment. If you have fun, you need to restore balance by being productive and punishing yourself. And that's just the wrong mindset in my eyes. In this case, I'm doing sports to care for my physical and also my mental well-being. It's a form of self-care, and so is sleep and recovery. So looking at it from this perspective, I'm simply re-evaluating what it is that helps me to stay healthy. And today it's a morning with coffee in bed. So if you take some time to think about what you hope productivity will give you, you might go beyond the more obvious answer that you'll get a certain task done, achieve a goal, or save some time, and also reflect on what kind of feelings you're hoping for. What kind of self-image do you want to convey? Why does being productive make you feel good? I personally feel productivity is what gets rewarded in our society. If you don't want to be a lazy slacker, you need to be ambitious, successful, giving your best at any time. We're taught we need to keep up with all the other work hard, play hard people and the high pace this world is changing with. And it wouldn't come as a surprise if you felt the pressure to become better and better too. Bottom line is, the belief that you're only worthy if you're productive gets strengthened. And thank God productivity can be measured by ticking off to-dos from the list, right? It's not easy to eliminate a belief that we were brought up with and that is also upheld in society every day. It requires an active mindset shift and regularly training your mind to strengthen more positive beliefs. I called in sick today because I caught a cold and just feel a bit under the weather. But it was really an internal battle until I finally managed to send that message. And to be honest, I also downplayed it a bit by saying that I'll work from bed for a few hours. And I know I'm not the only one struggling with this, but why is it so hard to just take some time to recover? I feel there's this lingering pressure to always push your limits, to function, even if that means to put your own needs last. And on a rational level, I know and also tell myself that if I take it easy now, perhaps I can avert becoming actually sick, or I will recover much faster if I listen to my body's needs. And I mean, it already communicates to me with symptoms like an itchy throat that I should take some time off. So why sabotaging myself and working against my body? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, maybe there are imposter-like thoughts, like people might think I am only pretending to be sick, or also more general ones like I need to be strong, I don't want to bail on others, or I mustn't show any weakness. But yeah, I'll put my work stuff aside now and take a nap. And I hope you also take enough time to recover, because you won't be productive or happy in the long run if you don't take enough time for yourself. What do you think makes someone a worthy person? What do you appreciate about your dear ones? What might they appreciate about you? Let's counteract limiting beliefs around toxic productivity and reflect on how to be productive for the right reasons. If you think about it, when you die one day, how would you want others to remember you? Do you want them to think that you were always busy and hustling? Or would you rather like to be remembered as a happy and balanced person who had a good connection to themselves, their mind and their body? Who didn't deplete their energy to get everything done, but consciously invested their energy into the right things? Because if you zoom out for a moment to see the bigger picture, Isn't it about the things that you're passionate about, that give you a deep sense of satisfaction and meaning rather than feeling busy? At FlowLab, we have the mission to redefine success and productivity and make it less outcome-focused, but more experience-focused. Yes, sometimes the outcome does matter. Sometimes the amount of money we earn, the number of things accomplished, or whether we beat an opponent are central factors. But it's not either or. You can still ask yourself what you can do to feel good, to make your experience better. Finding enjoyment in your activity is also something that is crucial for flow states. This mental state of complete immersion in what you're doing, this feeling of deep focus, ease, and fulfillment is said to be an autotelic state, as mentioned earlier, so one that is intrinsically motivated. The main motivation is not the reward of crossing a task from your list or the praise you might receive from others. Much more important is the mere enjoyment of doing that activity. But since we channel all our resources into the task when in the zone, we're up to 5 times more productive and you'll get much more done. But as I said, it's not the main intention, more like a positive side effect. So in this case, quantity follows quality. We have a video with 3 unusual tips to find more flow states. Feel free to check it out if you want to learn more about it. Otherwise, we've reached the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'll upload a new video on mental fitness and sustainable peak performance every Friday. So stay tuned and I hope to see you soon. Ich habe ein bisschen Angst, dass da Wasser rauskommt.
Zu Recht, es ist auf jeden Fall verschimmelt.